In an abusive situation, who do you protect first? The defenseless child or the abuser? Hi, I'm Nikki Lynn, and welcome to Nikki Lynn Investigates, where I break down true crime cases, past and present, provide you with updates on cases that shook our communities to its core. Follow along as we delve into current events, breaking news, and criminal trials with facts, context, and clarity, all while applying legal principles. Are you ready to take a closer look?
This video may contain copyrighted material. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allows for fair uses for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. This video is intended for educational, entertainment, and commentary purposes. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute.
Cynthia Hernandez surrendered to police on January 23rd for charges of child abuse and child neglect. This was after her boyfriend, 34-year-old Daniel Eduardo Romero, was arrested on January 11th for beating her 6-year-old nonverbal autistic son within inches of his young life. Hernandez's 6-year-old son Mason was found in cardiac arrest with no detectable pulse on January 9th at their home in Miami Beach, Florida. Medics was called and CPR was performed until he regained a pulse. Mason was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Although Mason survives, he's left with a brain bleed, a fractured arm, bruising on his face and back, swelling on his head, and lacerations to his liver, kidney, and spleen, amongst other injuries. Hernandez and Romero are ultimately charged and arrested due to giving conflicting statements. For instance, one story given was Mason got hurt while learning to ride a bike. Another story they gave was he fell and hit his head on the TV. Hernandez, the mom of Mason, would go on to corroborate each and every story that was given. After giving false stories to the authorities and allegedly covering up the abuse, Cynthia Hernandez would go on to state she's also a victim.
Mother of a 6-year-old boy with autism, whose boyfriend now faces charges for allegedly beating the child nearly to death, turned herself in yesterday and today faced a judge. NBC6's Valerie Ryan joins us now live from Jackson Memorial Hospital with more details on this case. Valerie.
Well, Lorena, the judge ordered that the mother of that 6-year-old have no contact with her son for the time being, while he remains here at Jackson Memorial in the ICU in critical but stable condition with his grandmother by his side.
Okay, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Grandma's here, okay?
That's Elizabeth Garcia consoling Mason, her 6-year-old grandson with autism, who she says is struggling without his mother by his side.
I do find that there is probable cause for each of these charges.
Cynthia Hernandez faces charges of child neglect, child abuse, and providing false information to officers. Our cameras captured Hernandez turn herself in to North Miami Beach Police Friday, more than 2 weeks after her boyfriend, Daniel Romero, allegedly beat her son Mason, leaving the child unresponsive and not breathing when officers arrived. Well, back at Miami-Dade County Jail, Hernandez's attorney argues she did not abuse or neglect her child, but on the charge of providing false information, arrest records say Hernandez and Romero changed their stories about how Mason got hurt. Hernandez later told detectives her boyfriend told her to tell police that her son fell off a bike, and her lawyer acknowledged that charge.
Obviously, that would be something that we'll be bringing up with the division judge.
But her lawyers argue Hernandez is a victim. Do you believe your daughter was a victim of domestic violence?
I do believe that for a fact. I saw all the signs, isolation. When she would be with him, you couldn't contact her. He would have her phone.
Hernandez told detectives that Romero had a short temper and anger problems and would often get irritated with Mason because of his neurodevelopmental condition. Hernandez's bond was set to $10,500 across all three charges. Garcia says she hopes this story gives others who may be in abusive relationships to get out before it's too late.
We have other people out there looking, listening, your listeners who are in relationships are like that, and I don't want them to be in fear to step out or to walk away. And I know, that in those kind of situations you walk on eggshell and you also lie to survive.
Now, Garcia says she has not left Mason's side since his mother turned herself in yesterday and is hoping that Romero is held fully accountable.
Hernandez's attorney states they are extremely disappointed that the Miami-Dade Police Department has decided to press charges against the mother who is nothing more than a victim. She would eventually tell investigators she believed Romero caused her son's injuries and that she also noticed he became frustrated when their 5-month-old baby would cry. Hernandez and Romero are both being held at the Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Department. Hernandez has a bond of $10,500 and has been charged with child abuse and child neglect with great bodily harm. Daniel Romero is being held without bond on 2 counts of aggravated child abuse causing great bodily harm, child neglect causing great bodily harm, and providing false information to law enforcement. This has been another episode of Nikki Lynn Investigates. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe.